I have used the phrase over and over and over again that we are being led by incompetent and evil people in this country. And this is another example of this. We've learned more about a local story in Oklahoma where an Oklahoma City family was traumatized after ICE raided their home, but they weren't the suspects. And this story is truly incredibly sad. I'm about to play a clip of the woman who's remaining anonymous for obvious reasons, and her experience with this. Essentially, in the middle of the night, like 20 ICE officers raided her home. Her and her daughters were screaming that they were American citizens. The ICE agents made them stand outside in the rain without clothes on. At one point, there's a conversation about them changing in front of the ICE agents. The ICE agents aren't giving them any information. It's truly a tragic story. So let's take a look at a little bit of this clip, and then I'll give you more details afterwards.
For what?
This woman, who we're calling Marissa, and her 3 daughters came to Oklahoma from Maryland looking for a slower, more affordable pace of life. They rented this house in a nice, seemingly safe northwest Oklahoma City neighborhood. Her husband planned to join them this past weekend, but any semblance they had of comfort went out the window when 20 men armed to the teeth busted through it Thursday morning.
I don't know who they were. They had guns. It was dark. All the lights were off.
They were federal agents, Marissa says, with the U.S. Marshals, ICE, and the FBI.
And I kept asking them, like, who are you? What are you doing here? What's happening? And they said, we have a warrant for the house.
They ordered Marissa and her daughters outside into the rain before they could even get dressed.
They wanted me to change in front of all of them, in between all of them.
The thing is, the suspect names on that search warrant were not Marissa's or anyone in her family's. They were, however, names listed on mail still arriving at the house. Former residents, perhaps.
We just moved here from Maryland. We're citizens. That's what I kept saying. We're citizens.
She says they didn't care.
We weren't criminals. Why were they treating us like criminals? We were here by ourselves. That we didn't do anything.
The agents ripped apart every square inch of the house, taking their phones, laptops, documents, and their life savings in cash as evidence.
Like, I have to feed my children. I'm gonna need gas money. I need to be able to get around. Like, how do you just leave me like this, like an abandoned dog?
And when they left, they told her something.
I know it was a little rough this morning. It was so denigrating. Like, you do all of this to a family, to women, your fellow citizens, and it was a little rough. You have literally traumatized me and my daughters for life.
This family.
So that's a little bit of this woman's story. I'd first of all challenge you to go watch the rest of this video. It is absolutely sickening. Again, the time we are at. We are being led, I will say it over and over and over again, by incompetent and evil people. These individuals have no idea what they're doing. We look at, for example, the DHS, right? Homeland Security. I just pulled up their Twitter. Look at what they tweeted 20 hours ago. 100 men versus one gorilla is still up for debate. Meanwhile, 142,000 plus illegal alien criminals went up against one President Trump. They all got deported. The guy who is running this account is like Joe Smo down the street. These people have no qualifications. The people, obviously, we've seen in Trump's cabinet who are in charge of carrying out these deportations, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no qualifications. The only qualification they have is that they're loyal to Trump. And I know you know that because we've seen it over and over and over again with every single one of his cabinet officials, right? Pete Hegseth is loyal to Trump, was a Fox News host, has like white supremacist tattoos, and that's enough for him to have that position in government. Need I say more? And so again, it's just disgusting. And what we end up seeing again in this incompetence is people over and over and over again getting traumatized, getting hurt. This woman had thousands of dollars in cash that were taken from her, and we still don't know when she's going to get that back. Now, I will say quickly that what we actually just learned, this has all happened in the last few days, is that there is a GoFundMe that has been set up for this woman. And so I'm going to leave it in the link in the description. It'll be like the first link. You should go check it out. Please donate. This poor woman's life was ripped apart. Also, there'll be links about your rights if ICE shows up to your house. If you are an undocumented person, if you're a naturalized U.S. citizen, regardless of your legal status, I will leave links in the description so you know the rights that you have when ICE shows up at your door, because this is incredibly important. So let's talk a little bit more again about this story. They show up, they raid her house, they take her cash, they take everything. And we asked, the local news asked essentially all of the agencies, including the local Oklahoma agencies, about what happened, what was the issue here. And DHS would end up releasing a statement and then confirming to NBC News that they carried out a, quote, court-authorized search warrant for a large-scale human smuggling investigation involving 8 Guatemalan nationals indicted in a federal case in the Northern District of Oklahoma. And so Fox News would actually end up posting about this and being like, see, DHS had a warrant, blah, 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 blah. The fake news media strikes again. Quote, the search warrants included the location of an address where U.S. citizens recently moved. The previous residents were the intended target, the official said, which we haven't seen the search warrant yet, but that would essentially make it null and void, right? A federal judge is signing a warrant that these individuals have probable cause. These agents have probable cause to take phones, computers, cash, etc., all based on the idea that they belong to someone who would be these individuals indicted in this federal indictment. But obviously, they no longer live there. The people who live there are a mom and a daughter who are trying to move and have a better life and are U.S. citizens and are now traumatized for life. And the fact that we asked DHS about this and all these other, again, we asked the FBI, we asked all these other 3-letter agencies, the DOJ, they just were like, yeah, it's not us. We have no idea. Again, incompetence. It's disgusting. Is someone going to help these individuals? The U.S. government owes it to these individuals. Quote, I'm going to need gas money. I need to be able to get around. Like, how are you just going to leave me like this, like an abandoned dog? I'm going to imagine that. Someone walking into your house, taking all of your stuff, being like, yeah, sorry, that was a little rough. You had to stand out in the rain naked with your daughters. That was pretty traumatizing. Sorry. And then leave. It's like, are you even a human being? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And again, I think it's really important that these stories continue to be talked about, especially as we see in the sense of executing a search warrant, where we keep seeing over and over again in this administration just a lack of due process, an argument that for some reason, if the government suspects you of a crime, they should be able to play the judiciary as well and just label you a criminal and possibly, deport you to a foreign country in a dungeon chamber. And as long as they claim that you're a criminal, as long as they claim that you are part of some gang, then that's enough, right? We're seeing a lack of due process in this country over and over and over again. It has put us in constitutional crisis, and it is incredibly dangerous. And the reason it's happening, once again, and I know that this is a small example because whoever runs this Twitter account is obviously not, running everything, but it just goes to show, again, like the seriousness of these individuals to be posting like disgusting memes like this on Twitter. It goes from bottom to top. These individuals have no idea what they're doing. It's incredibly dangerous. It's hurting people over and over and over again, and it's disgusting. And it's setting the wrong precedent in this country. So please, keep using your voice. It would mean a lot if you clicked like on this video and subscribe. I also post a lot of videos, TikTok, Instagram, etc., about some of these stories. So if you want to follow those platforms, there'll be a link in the description. I appreciate all of you so much. I always say make sure you're taking breaks as well, because I know that this can all be very, very, very exhausting, and you should be proud of yourself for watching. And I will keep you updated on this story. So make sure you go down there and hit subscribe. Again, we still don't have the search and seizure warrant that was a part of this story. We're waiting to get it, and I think that will be very, very interesting once we see it. Again, there will be a link in the description for a GoFundMe for this woman and her family. So please, if you do have anything extra, $1, $5 would go a long way. I'm going to check out the GoFundMe myself and donate some, because this family deserves help in a time like this. And I'll also, again, leave links in the description about your rights when ICE comes to your home. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next video.